and gentlemen, my name is Wahyu Adi Aribowo and I am from Business School, Business University. Now I will present our paper entitled PT ABC Smart Work Environment to Support Business Performance Post-COVID Condition. As a start, we would like to convey that the current era of globalization brings many challenges to organization in managing employee engagement to achieve organization goals. This is, of course, also experienced by companies engaged in the mining industry sector, especially coal commodities, which will continue to grow steadily for the new few years in line with projected coal production in Indonesia. For mining companies to able to compete in the coal supply market in particular, the involvement of the workforce is considered to greatly affect the company's performance in achieving its target. Companies must realize that when workers are involved in work, this can result in higher productivity and better efficiency. PTIBC, as the largest coal mining contractor company in Indonesia, is always committed to continuing to improve its best performance to achieve targets. So PTIBC also makes employee involvement a factor that needs attention. It offers all research to increase employee engagement, human resource practice, and the basic condition of workers play an important role. In addition, PTABC is a company that pays enough attention to employee engagement. Top management believes that employee engagement can be a competitive advantage that can drive the company's business performance. As we previously informed you, the top management of PTABC believes employee engagement can be a competitive advantage that can drive the company's business performance. Recently, in the general, PTABC's business performance has experienced unfavorable condition. One of the parameters that inform the company's business performance is the increase in waste disposal costs every year. For 2022 alone, companies will experience an increase in waste disposal costs from 1.138 to 1.57, or an increase of around 13.8%. But on the other hand, the result of the employee engagement survey at PTABC were not bad. There were several indicators that also obtained good survey results, such as job security, values, diversity, and inclusion. However, there are several score indicators for the employee engagement survey at PTABC that are not very good and need to be improved, such as organizational support and fulfillment of certain work requirements. On this occasion, we also want to provide information that the purpose of this research is to explore the effect of perceived organizational support and physical contract on the level of employee engagement, which mediates good business performance. Although many studies have independently explored the effects of perceived organizational support, physical contract, and the level of employee engagement, very few studies have examined the dynamic and comprehensive relationship between these variables together and their positive impact on business performance. As we have informed you in the previous slide, on this occasion, the research variable will be perceived the organizational support, physical contract, employee engagement, and business performance. So here we convey briefly the literature review of our research variable, namely, and first is the physical contract, where this is related to career growth and development. It is related to work and the work environment. And if there is a violation of the physical contract, it can have negative effects, such as poor standard of behavior, decreased job satisfaction, and decreased trust in the organization. The second is perceived organizational support, which is more described as an employee's belief that the organization values contribution and cares about their well-being. Furthermore, the third is employee involvement. In this case, the emphasis is on the positive or negative emotional attachment of employees to work, colleagues, and organizations that greatly affect their willingness to learn and perform at work. And the last is business performance, which is used as one of the important dependent variables in organizational studies. From the several variables that we presented on the previous literature review slide, we made 5 hypotheses in the study, namely at hypothesis 1, The psychological contract has a positive effect on employee engagement. Hypothesis 2, perceived organizational support has a positive effect on employee engagement. Hypothesis 3, employee engagement mediates the relationship between the psychological contract and business performance. Hypothesis 4, employee engagement mediates the relationship between perceived organizational support and business performance. And hypothesis 5, employee engagement is positively related to business performance. And the framework we create is shown on the screen, where we place the psychological contract and perceived organizational support variables as independent variables. Then for employee adjustment, we place them as mediation variables. And finally, for business performance, we place them as dependent variables. In compiling the research methodology, we power the following into the process flow in which the information is obtained in the figure. We used a research strategy in the form of a survey, which we developed with an online questionnaire. The population sample is the study was also determined by employees of PT-EBC in all areas of work location who have worked for at least 5 years. So the number of target samples is our study was 390. After we determine the question item that become the operational session of the variables in the questionnaire, in practice, we also conduct a preliminary survey with 30 respondents, and the result will test for variables and reliability to make the final item a questionnaire survey. In conducting data analysis on the result of the questionnaire survey, we use software tools, namely Smart PLS. With the help of the test software tool, we do the analysis, starting from the normality test to testing the hypothesis, before finally getting the test result to draw conclusion. In this study, we distribute online questionnaire from January to February 2023. From a target sample of 390 respondents, the research obtained a sample that exceeds the target of 695 respondents. From the respondent data obtained, namely 695 respondents, the following information was obtained. The gender category is dominated by men, namely 99% or 690 respondents. Category is dominant in the range of 31 and 40 years, namely 62% or 431 respondents. The service period category was dominated by the 11 until 15 years range, namely 57% or 400 respondents. The education category is dominated by high school level, namely 80%. And the position category is dominated by GL, group leader, officer position, namely 57%. The division category was dominated by the operation division, namely 89% or 620 respondents. Using the help of software of test school, we carry out a normality test, and the results show that the skewness and kurtosis level of the 4 variables. The 4 variables are far below the value of 1.96, so that a single variable can be set to fulfill the normality function. In addition, the value of the most extreme difference from the z-score of the 4 variables is greater than the standard set, which is 0.05. So from the result of the statistical data, it can be concluded that the 4 variables are not significantly different from the normality function. We carry out a determination test or analysis of variance R2 to find out the influence of the independent variable of the dependent variable based on the value of the coefficient of determination, as shown in figure 11 above. Based on the values in figure 11, it shows that the psychological contract and perceived organizational support are able to explain the employee engagement construct of 53%, and the remaining 47% explained by other constructs outside the variable study is this study. Well, employee adjustment is able to explain the variability of the business performance construct of 65%. The remaining 35% is explained by other construct outside the variable examined in this study. Okay, based on the PET coefficient, which are the tests of the hypothesis testing with the help of PLS. SAM software or test tool several calculations are obtained from the research result as follows. Hypothesis 1. Sorry. Basic contract have a positive effect on employee engagement, meaning that this hypothesis has a significant effect, and the hypothesis is accepted. Hypothesis 2, perceived organizational support has a positive effect on employee engagement, meaning that this hypothesis has a significant influence and the hypothesis is accepted. Hypothesis 3, employee engagement mediates the relationship between psychological contract and business performance, meaning that this hypothesis has no significant effect and the hypothesis is not accepted. Hypothesis 4, employee engagement mediates the relationship between perceived organization support with business performance, meaning that this hypothesis has no significant effect and the hypothesis is accepted. And hypothesis 5, employee engagement is positively related to business performance, meaning that this hypothesis has a significant effect and the hypothesis is accepted. At the end of this presentation, we try to convey some conclusion from the study, namely, bilateral contract and personal guarantee support have a significant positive influence on employee engagement. This show how employee of PT-ABC really pay attention to the commitment to bilateral contract implementation and also how their perceived organizational support is obtained. PT-ABC employee will feel more engaged if they are get the promised bilateral contract and organizational support. I'm sorry. Then there is another thing that becomes a conclusion, namely that employee engagement, which is influenced by psychological contract and perceived organizational support, does not necessarily mediate an increase on business performance. This can be seen from the insignificant effect. And what is interesting or can be taken into account in this study that employee engagement, which is not influenced by personal contract and perceived organizational support at PT-ABC, turn out to have a significant effect on improving business performance. This indicates that there are other things that can significantly affect employee engagement at PT-ABC and improve business performance. Or, in other words, employee engagement is not only limited to implementing personal contract and providing psychological support at PT-ABC. This will be an interesting focus for future research. On the one hand, management needs to analyze and create various ways and alternatives to increase employee engagement so that it can help improve business performance. This is our paper presentation, and we will thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.